persona. Okay.
You went through what?
The buyer persona. I saw the place where they were, for each buyer, they were comparing the introvert and extrovert, maybe the personalities, you know, and they also talked about, I actually spent my time trying to replicate what I saw, drawing it, you understand, the biography, then sorry, what's the word I'm trying to get right now. So sorry about that.
It's all right. That's fine. I'll still leave you guys to go study it or just take it as an assignment. Draw out a buyer persona, and I told you can use Canva to create yours. That's fine. So create a buyer persona, and I was really going to talk about the business model canvas because it is extremely important. Very, very important. You are going to need it if you want to become like a high-end product manager. Yeah, like not just a normal product manager, but a very resourceful one. You're going to need it. You should have the knowledge and you should know how to create one. Okay. So I'll still leave you guys to it. We'll be having class tomorrow again. So maybe before tomorrow, you guys will be good students. If you can see the meeting chat, I sent something that was what they told me to take for week 4. I'm supposing they meant week 5 because we're currently in week 5. So can you all see it? Can you see it? Okay. So it says this module covers the GTM related items of the product strategy. So we're supposed to do building GTM strategy, large company versus small company, things to make sure at the launch, support, finance, organization gates for the GTM process, which we have done. We've done bullet points 1 and 2. Now I'm moving to pricing. So today we're going to do pricing models, pricing strategies. Then maybe tomorrow we will move on to, I don't know why they gave me this. No wonder the facilitator that was supposed to take it ran away. This is supposed to take like another 3 weeks. But then, so interaction with marketing, interaction with sales and business development, all those ones will take them on Monday. So, but I'll be teaching you guys pricing for today. So, Damola, your hand was raised. Do you want to say anything?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the buyer persona you sent.
Okay.
I'm even familiar with it. I don't know we can as well say buyer persona. I'm familiar with the user persona.
What?
Familiar user persona.
Oh, okay. Yeah, now you should. That's like beginner stage now.
Okay, so I don't know you can actually use another term for it as buyer persona.
No, they are very different. User persona is just how do I put it? They're almost the same, but buyer persona is more detailed. Let me put it that way. It's
because
more different. Okay, listening.
Okay, because I know what I saw there is virtually similar to everything I know about user personnel. In a user personnel, we're gonna see the personality of the user, the age, probably the location, the technology proficiency, the goals, motivation, frustration. And like so I was saying something similar. So I just thought probably it's another name aside user.
Okay.
That it can also be
So you can use a user persona. You can use a buyer persona when you need a user persona, but you can't use a user persona when you need a buyer persona. Reason is a buyer persona is more detailed. A buyer persona's word explains is that, means the person, that's your target market, like we said yesterday. So a user might not necessarily be your target market. Okay, they might just be using they might just be using your products, but they're not converting. Okay, they're not your actual target market. So I'm trying to look for an example. That's why I'm thinking, trying to look for an example to give you guys, because I like to explain with
Can I
example.
say, okay, something? Like, okay, are you saying, for instance, when this Remini app came out, this AI of a thing, you know, there is a if you are just signing up, you have the opportunity to use it for free for I think 7 days before you start paying maybe 475 per day and weekly payments. So it's
Yeah.
either you all subscribe before that, or they start deducting from your, the account you actually registered it with. Does it mean that, okay, I used it for that 7 days, between that period of that free grace and unsubscribe, but since then I've not used it? Does it mean I'm just like a user personnel, not really their buyer, because I'm not really keen to the main
You can
being
you
their
can
main
you
customer?
can say that, but know that these personas are created before a product is created or before a product is launched. Okay, so you create it. You create the kind of buyer that you want to have for your product. That's the buyer persona. You say, okay, I want my buyer to be I want my buyer to be Africans. I want my buyer to be aged, let's say 16 to 35. I want my buyers to be extroverts. Let's say it's a music app. Okay, so I want them to be extroverts. I want them to listen to music. I want them to, you can pick everything. You can create your buyer persona depending on the kind of people that you want to buy your products. A user persona might not be necessarily detailed as buyer persona. Buyer persona can have will definitely have the person's personality, the person's picture, age, and everything that is in the picture I sent you. But a user persona can just have name, occupation, and it can just be like 3 things. Do you understand? Like the 3 major things, that's what you need. So, but anyway, to answer your question, they're almost the same thing, but a buyer persona is more detailed. That's it. And you can interuse it. You can use a buyer persona in place of a user persona. I've answered your question.
Well, I'm very inquisitive, so I might still have to go and do my further research, because what I saw is quite not different from the user persona I've done before. And I know
That's
user
why I just
persona
said that they are
also.
not too different. It's just more detailed. That's it. They are not too different. Yeah. Let me check if I'll see a picture of. Okay. I think I've seen something that I can use to differentiate. I'm coming. So I was saying before that your buyer is a realistic this thing, right? Like it's more realistic I'm coming. Let me share my screen with you guys. So this will just answer the question for us. Let me know when you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. So a buyer persona is fictional. It is fictional. That means it is not real, yet it is realistic and data-based portraits of your target or your ideal customers. You can see customers, meaning they are making a purchase. See down, it even says it here that make purchasing decisions. They seek branded content. They play big roles in driving your marketing strategies. You can see everything here is about marketing customers. That means money is involved. Now let's go to user personas. They represent individuals who actually use your product regardless of their influence on buying decision, regardless of their influence. That means they don't necessarily have to buy your product, but they'll use it. May be different than buyers. You can see it here, it still says the same thing. They may be different than buyers. They may be the same. That means they might buy, they might not buy. But this one, they buy. Buyer persona, they buy, they make that purchasing decision. But this one, they might buy, they might not buy. Then here, they can guide your product design and messaging. Do you know that there's a way you can use your product without even buying anything, but you're guiding the product design and the product messaging. That means at the back end, people that created the products can use your feedback to improve their product, even if you don't buy. So you can see the difference between buyer persona and user persona now. If you don't understand, I think you can just go to Google to learn more. But obviously you can see there's a difference, but it's very slight. So can we go ahead to today's class, please? We use like 30 minutes.
All right.
So no more questions. Thank you. Let's go ahead. I'm going to share my screen in a few minutes. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Thank you. So this was what we talked about yesterday. You can remember, right? GTM strategy, large versus small company. This was where we stopped. Then size of the budget, blah, 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 blah. Today we're going to pricing strategy. So how to define your pricing strategy? You need to know how much does it cost to manufacture your product or your service. That means how much does it cost to build that app or that website? Then what price do you need to meet in order to, sorry, give me a minute. Okay, so I was talking about defining your pricing strategy. So the first thing you should take note of is how much does it cost to manufacture your product or your service? Then what price do you need to meet in order to make a profit? How much do your competitors charge for a similar product or service? Remember that there's a, if you guys notice, there's a trend here. The very first thing you do is think about your product. The next thing you are doing is thinking about your competitors' products. Have you guys noticed that trend? Like if there's anything, you're putting yourself first, then you're thinking about your competitors second. That is how you can meet up. That's how you can improve, and that's how you can be consistent. So it also applies for your pricing strategy. What price do you need to meet in order to make a profit? How much do your competitors charge for a similar product or service? Then what is your target marketing willing to pay for the product? That means the people you're trying to sell this product to, what are they willing to pay? Then will you use a subscription or transactional model? Is this something that you want people look at? You mentioned Remini, right? Remini is a subscription thing, either weekly, either monthly or yearly. There's a particular amount you're paying. That's a subscription. Or is it transactional? Is it that they pay once and they get their product? Or they have to keep paying to use your product? Now, those are the kind of things that you use to define your pricing strategy. Now, pricing is how much you charge for your product, and pricing strategy is how you determine which amount is best to place as price on your product. These are two different things. Pricing is different from pricing strategy. Pricing strategy is a strategy that you put in place for your pricing, while pricing is just the price, the amount that you're charging for your product. Let's say for the Remini now, it's 450 naira per month. Now that is the pricing. Now the pricing strategy is how you determine which amount is best to place as price. That means you want to determine if 450 naira is best, or if 500 naira is best, and then you also want to determine if transactional model is best or subscription model is best. Now, this is the strategy. So you can see pricing is different from pricing strategy. Am I communicating?
You are.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you. So a winning pricing strategy should portray value. It should convince your customers to buy your product. It should give your customers confidence in your products, and it should be tailored to your niche market. So if remember I said yesterday and the first day that if your product is not giving me any value, I am not going to use it. I'm not even going to pay for it, not to talk of using itself. If I use it, maybe you are my friend and you're a product manager and you beg me to download your product. That's the only time you are going to see it on my phone. If it is not giving me any value, why am I wasting my phone storage? Okay, so the very first thing, now if you now want to attach a price to it, then it must portray a value. Now, convincing your customers to buy your product, that price should be convincing enough. If you are charging me 8,000 naira per month, it should be convincing. That means what I'm getting in return should be value pro max. Okay. LinkedIn charges, I think they used to charge 11,000 naira per month. Now I think they're charging, I'm not sure, but a friend of mine was trying to confirm from me and said that they charge that 20-something thousand naira per month, LinkedIn. But if you're getting your maximum value, then what stops you? Me, I stopped doing the premium, I just continue to do my free. The free is limited. For the free, you won't know the people that are checking your profile. You won't be able to send emails. Emails are like, even if people restrict you from sending message, there are ways you can actually send those messages if you are using a premium version. Premium version also allows you to do like a whole lot of things that you can't do with the free. So, but for me, I feel like I can actually still use LinkedIn without going the free. I don't need to send people messages, and I can just copy their email from their profile and send them an email directly. Also, I don't really need to know who is checking me on LinkedIn. Sometimes I'll just see, 51 people checked it, 200 or something people checked it. If people really want to know, like, get into my DM or send me an email, okay? But before, when I was still using the premium, I'll actually see the people that are checking my profile. Some of them are employers. And if you were around for this webinar we had with our partners at Propel, the lady said that when she was still using, that LinkedIn will give you 1 month free to use that premium version. So when she was using premium version, she would see the people that checked her. She see the people that checked her what's it called? Her profile, and then if they're employer, she can always text them to say, I saw you checked my profile. I'd like you to know that what you saw is what you get, blah 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 blah. It can also be useful in that it can also be useful for that essence. So let's not digress. So convince your customers to buy a product. That price has to be convincing. Then give your customers confidence in your product, and it has to be tailored to your niche market. Let's go to the next one. How to create a winning price strategy. Are you guys still with me?
Yeah.
Thank you. So how to create... Okay, thank you. So how to create a winning pricing strategy? Finding your value metric. setting your ideal customer profiles and segments, completing user research and experimentation. So your value metric, that means these are like statistical numbers. That value you are trying to give out, how many people is it going to bring in? How many clicks are you going to get? How many purchases are you going to get? All the numbers, you have to find them, put them on your drawing board or your drawing plan. Yesterday we talked about what? There was something we talked about that we said you need to have a drawing plan for it. This one also, for your pricing, you also have to, you also need a drawing plan, or as a product manager, you'll be needing a lot of like very big papers, all these A2 papers, like very big ones, so that you can always draw out things. And you can also use Jira, Asana. I'm sure they must have taught you guys like tools product managers use, right? Did they explain that to you, your former facilitators? Did they tell you the tools product managers use?
Yes, it was mentioned. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So you can also use those tools if you're not a traditional paper and pencil person. So setting your ideal customer profiles and segments is also something like buyer persona. Then completing user research and experimentation. You need to find out, like after you've created your buyer persona now, you need to find out what those people actually like. Now, the buyer persona I created, remember they said it is fictional, but it has to be realistic. That means it is not real. Now, the user research is where you make it real. You have to create questionnaires and carry out a survey. Questionnaires, you have to put in the questions like, I'm sure you guys must have done something like that. Put in questions about that product, about how the user would feel using that product. In anything you're doing, the user comes first, you know that. So the questionnaire has to be about the user and your product. Now, when you create it, you need to send that survey out to people to create your user research. The feedbacks you get is what you use to carry out your experimentation. And this is how you can know the perfect price. So in your questionnaires, you can actually ask them, after you've asked them about the product, about their personalities, and about how they'll feel using this particular product, you can now say, let's say the product is about cleaning services. You can now say, how do you feel if you're charged? No, let's start with how would you like to be charged for your cleaning services, subscription model or transactional model? Some people can pick subscription, some people can pick transactional. You know, say, how will you like to be charged? Or no, how will you feel if you're being charged 15,000 naira per cleaning or 215,000 naira for a year? That's how you can now know the ones that people actually pick. So I think I'm making sense, right? That's for your experimentation and user research. So some pricing strategies: value-based, price scheming, penetration, dynamic, economy, competitive, cost plus. So for value-based, I think I talked about this yesterday. If you're pricing, if your what's it called? Your product has value, definitely you have like 50-50 shoulder pad. You want to increase the price because you know that this product they are getting, it is value packed. Price scheming means you're just trying out different prices because you want to know what people will stick to. So you can first go in with your penetration price, like let's see 415 naira. Then tomorrow you can say, okay, it has decreased. You see if people rush it. If they do, you cannot increase it again. That means you're just scheming to get your perfect price. That's another strategy. Another strategy is penetration. I explained this yesterday too. It's people that are newly launching that actually use this more because they've not had their market yet. So they need to come in with a very low and catchy price so that they can penetrate that market and gain their users. So that's another strategy for pricing penetration. The economy is let's say your competitors already have a price, like you know the way we have for some oils, we have this oil, then we now have economy pack. Do you guys know those things? Economy pack for this, economy pack for that. It's like a smaller version, right? So you can do something like that. The price that fits the economy that you are, depending on the country that you created that product. Dynamic, it's almost the same as economy, but it's a bit different. So let's say your price changes. When you go in with the economy price, it can change, it can increase. Most times this dynamic increases, it does not decrease. Decreasing happens with price scheming more than competitive. Your price is competing with your competitors. Bolt and Uber will forever be a good example. Then Rider and Bolt is another example. Their prices are competitive, and that's why they have competing users. Okay, then cost plus is I think I'm mixing cost. I don't want to mix cost plus with what's it called? With value based. Okay, thank God I even checked it. So I'm not mixing it with value based. So cost plus has to do with percentage. It's also known as a markup pricing. So this pricing method is where you fix a percentage on top of your cost price, or on top of the cost that it takes to produce 1 unit of a product. That's the unit cost. So let's say the unit cost of one product is 15 naira. Then you now add a fixed percentage on top of that 15 naira to get your actual cost. Do you understand? Do you guys understand?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So, but people don't really use this cost plus because it's technical. Adding percentage on top of your unit cost price, like what's the point? So most people use the very popular ones are value-based, penetration, and competitive. Value-based, penetration, and competitive. Penetration is mostly used for new launching products. Value-based is definitely used for when you know that your product has value. Now, don't come and be doing I kill that mentality style here. As a product manager, you have to be realistic in all sense. You will know when your product is giving value and when your product is not giving value. So if your product is not giving value, don't say, it took us time to create it and this and this and this. So definitely it is giving value. You can't find this anywhere. You know how people usually make money. You can't find this anywhere, but we can actually find this somewhere. You have to be realistic. Even if it is giving value, merge it with your competitors and see how well your competitors are doing. If your competitors are doing far better, then yes, you know it's giving value, but it is not value packed. You get it? So maybe you should stick to economy pricing or competitive pricing or penetration pricing, in fact. Okay, so before you can actually make money that you want to use value based, know what you're offering. That's why LinkedIn can charge you 20-something thousand naira per month, and they will stick to that because they know what they are giving you. Let's go to the next thing. So set metrics and monitor performance. The success of your go-to-market strategy is completely dependent on the goals that you set. In setting these goals, you're also identifying the metrics you will use to measure your success. Oh, we're almost done now. Really? That was fast. Oh, did I skip anything? Okay, that's quite fast. Come in. I just knew that there was something I wanted us to do. I wanted us to watch something. I'm coming. I think okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I think I missed some things in this slide. So please, just give me 1 minute. I'm going to do it. I'm still with you. Sorry, did anyone is anyone on the slide channel like is like somebody tampered with it? I don't know.
How possible is that? How possible will someone tamper with the slide you are working on your own system?
No, I shared the link with everybody so that they can go through it on their own. But it's no problem. I'm going to fix that soon. Just give me a minute. Okay, I'm back and done now. And your attendance will be sent soon. Actually, today is Aisha's resting day. Like she doesn't work on Sundays, and I made sure of that because I really do not. I have days that are specified for each person in my team to work. So Aisha is not supposed to work today. That's why things are a little bit draggy, but Yemi is going to send the link soon. So let's continue with the class. You get your attendance link soon. So I'm going to share my screen again. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Thank you. So we stopped at set metrics and monitor performance. So now craft your promotion strategy. After you have your pricing strategy in place, you want to be able to create a promotion strategy. That means how you're going to promote that market. Now, the first thing you want to consider is the best channel to reach your target audience. Is it online or offline? Remember we talked about this yesterday. We talked about online channels and offline marketing channels. I think we discussed extensively on that. So now for your promotion strategy, you want to choose the best channel to reach your target audience. 2, does your customer respond better to outbound marketing methods such as phone calls or radio advertisements or inbound marketing effort like SEO? I talked about SEO yesterday and I said some people actually focus on just SEO, which is search engine optimization. That was where we talked about Google AdWords. Some people focus on just that. So you want to know if your customers are more online, which is the inbound marketing, that's the SEO and stuff, or outbound, which is phone calls, radio and stuff. And you also want to know where your target audience spend most of their time. Are they always indoor? Are they always outdoor? Are they always in frenzy places? Are they always at work? You know, they want to know where they spend most of their time. That is what you do during your research. When you are carrying out your survey, these are things you want to include. Then what marketing channels penetrate that space? Now, if they are mostly at work, let's say they work at a bank, you know that bankers usually have these flyers on their across their teller, like over the counter, they usually have these flyers. You can put those flyers there, those bankers will see it. You know that those ones now, that's their major source of this thing, advertisements. When they are going home, they're probably in their car or they're taking the buses or BRT or stuff. You can also make sure that your advertisements are on billboards or they're on BRT, those BRT buses, or on billboard, like media advertising stuff. So you know that these people go out in the morning, come back in the evening. So you want to make sure that all your advertising channels are outside. That's it. So you want to make sure that you penetrate that marketing channel. Then what marketing method can you realistically implement now, considering your current budget? You cannot have 50,000 naira and be saying you want to use a billboard. Not even the billboard that are just going to put whatever content you guys are using, but you are not thinking of using video billboard. You are wasting your time. As a product manager, you have to be very, very realistic. Okay. If you have 50,000 naira, that means you know that your advertisement should be like 20,000 naira out of the 50,000 naira. There's this thing I also want to teach you guys, God. That's it's not under pricing. It's not under pricing. I've forgotten the topic it's under, but it's how to spend your budget, the budget that a company gives to you as a product manager. How are you going to spend it with your project manager? Let me quickly touch on this. Someone asked yesterday, I'm not even sure if she's in the class. Someone is unmuted. Someone asked yesterday that if you have a product that is not a digital product, if you have a product that is not a digital product, can you be a product manager? And I said, no. You can only be a product manager if you have a digital product. If you do not have a digital product, let's say she said, if it's an NGO, or let me even see if she's on the call. Okay, she's not on the call. If it's like an NGO and they have services that they offer and stuff like that, then you do not need a product manager. Since you don't have an app, you don't have a website, what you need is a project manager. And that's actually what some people are supposed to be doing. that they are doing product management. Product management is different from project management. I'm not sure if they taught you guys the difference, but they should have. So if it does not have to, like if that company does not have any digital product like app, website, or whatever, then you really do not need a product manager. What you need is a project manager. So, but there are companies that have digital products, and they can have a product manager and a project manager. So the project manager is the one that would like use the budget and work with this budget alongside the product manager. Now, the product manager is a person that will supervise the project manager while she or he is using that budget. So the product manager wants to tell the project manager that we definitely can't use the whole 50,000 naira for this project. 10,000 naira will go to the allocation of salaries or workmanship or whatever. 20,000 naira will go to promotional activities like advertisements and stuff. Another 10% will go to let's say outbound marketing. Then, the way you want to break everything down, you and the project manager will actually discuss this, but you have to be realistic. Now, this is how to craft your promotion strategy. The next thing is choosing your sales and distribution channels. What is the nature of your product? Remember that all this is after you have created your pricing strategy. Now you have your price, you have your pricing strategy. Remember, I said there are two different things. So now you have your price, you have your pricing strategy. You've created your metrics, your realistic metrics. Now you've created your promotional strategy. Now you're choosing your sales and distribution channel. Firstly, you want to... The slide is not changing. Is it changing now?
Yes, it's changing.
Oh, thank you. So I said you want to craft your promotion strategy. We've already explained that. So next, you're choosing your sales and distribution channel. What is the nature of your product and how does it have any specific sales and distribution requirements? What are the manufacturing needs of your products and how does that impact its sales and distribution? Then where does your target market shop or buy their products regularly? Do they go to supermarkets or do they go to actual local markets? Then how can you make the sale of your products as seamless as possible? You don't want to stress people. Anything that is stressing people nowadays, they're off. They just vanish. So you want to make it very, very seamless. You want to make the buying channels or the purchasing channel or the marketing channel very easy. Okay, that means you must have studied your target market, know where they shop, know how they shop, know how easy they like to shop, and all this will be very helpful for you. I wanted us to watch this video because it would help us understand everything I've explained more. 6 steps to creating a go-to-market plan and how Tinder acquired millions of users. You guys know Tinder, right?
Yes, the dating app.
Yes. So they are doing very well. After Bumble, I guess, or Bumble or something like that, I can't remember their name, but I know that I and a group of people have done research about their product before. So Tinder and Bumble, I think they are the leading dating app or something like that. I can't remember. But yeah. Another thing you want to be doing as a product manager is screening apps and any digital products you find, website or apps, screen them, do research about them. We call it product tear down. We actually used to do it in Product Hub Africa. I think it used to be every Wednesday, but people started getting very busy. So it wasn't consistent. But every Wednesday we used to do product tear down. We just pick a product, would tear that product down, talk about it from scratch to finish, see what they are doing good, see what they are doing bad. That's when we'll actually know the good products and the bad products. And sometimes you can even tell them how to improve. It used to be good. You can, suggest that we continue. Yes, product data is always very, very interesting. Always very interesting. You see people arguing and saying, no, why did they have this? Why did they have it? Why don't they have this? Why are they doing this? No, they should stop this. This will be interesting. So, okay, let's go forward. We'll watch this video once we're done with the class. We're almost done. Go to market methodologies. We have funnel and we have flywheel. The flywheel methodology. I think the funnel is also here. Why didn't I add the funnel? When is this thing go to? I'm coming. Please let me know when you can see my screen. Oh, you did one on PalmPay. Is it in our community? That's it. Product here down. So we usually do it on Wednesdays. You don't have to do anything special to join, no. I think you just see it on your Slack, but we stopped for a while. We can continue it down. I mean, we can continue it sometime soon, but we need to plan about it, like no who would anchor it and all of that. Okay, now another community, that's interesting. So it's always fun. All right. Go to market methodologies. We have funnel and flywheel. So the funnel here, a funnel mirrors the path your prospects take to become a customer. It describes discrete stages of the customer's journey from the first touch to the closed deal. That means from the moment they see your product to when they close the deal. That means to when they actually purchase or make a payment for that product. Now, this funnel, the first thing you're doing is you're catching their attention. If you can see this place here, it's like a speaker, right? That's the broadcasting, your marketing, your promotion, your awareness, your interest, your awareness rather. That's where it comes in. You're trying to catch their attention. Now, the next thing is you want to gain their interest. After you've caught their attention, if you guys can remember on what's that day for yesterday, we talked about catching attention and we talked about going from social media to YouTube. I use that as an example. Yeah, so you probably they see a flyer also on Instagram. Now, you've caught their attention. Now you have to lock in their interest right here. You have to lock in their interest right here. How are you locking in their interest? Maybe you are making them aware that they need your product. Some people are not aware, but you need to make them aware. You need to make them realize that they are missing something. Then you've caught their interest. Now you have to build the desire within them, which is what you're doing here. You are building the desire within them. Oh, I really want this. I never knew I needed this. That's when you start hearing people say, I never knew I needed this, blah, 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 blah. You get, so now the final action is where they are paying for that product. They are paying to enjoy that product. Now that's for the funnel methodology. It takes them from the first thought to the closed deal, which is from the attention to the action. AIDA, you can just abbreviate it that way. AIDA, attention, interest, desire, and action. Now let's check the flywheel methodology, and you guys will tell me the one you enjoy. So the circular flywheel focuses on attracting, engaging, and delighting prospects, leads, and customers. So the first thing you want to do here is attract them. Here, they are still strangers. You are attracting them. Now they go to prospective people. They are your prospects. You are engaging them. It's also the same thing as catching their interest here. You are engaging them in that your product, maybe through a video. From here, from where you attracted them, it's probably through a post they saw on Instagram. Now you want to engage them through a video. Maybe that post took them to YouTube. They say, watch more on YouTube. Now you're engaging them. They're actually engaged in your video that is telling them more about your product, more than what they saw on Instagram. Now, you bring them to Delight. Delight now, there's high probability that they become customers depending on how good your promotion is. That Delight now, you've already caught their interest. They are aware that they need this. They are engaged. They are locked in, and you've caught their interest. They are delighted now, and there's high probability that they can become customers. That means they are going to click buy. Okay. Another way you can, that I mentioned this, by giving them a discount, or your first timers use discount code first timers, or you came here from Instagram, use discount code Instagram. All these kind of things will keep them locked in, and then they become customers. From your customers, they become your promoters. They are the ones that will go out there and promote your products for you. Then you start building a network of your product users, from 1 person to 2 people to 3 people to 5 people to 10 to 12 to 14 to 100. And you have your growth. That's it. So the circular flywheel focuses on attracting, engaging, and delighting prospect, blah, 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 blah. So tell me, which one do you prefer? The funnel, is this the same thing? No, it's just different processes. So the funnel or the flywheel? Let me see. I'm not seeing your chat, so you can also unmute. Okay, I think someone said flywheel. Okay. Okay. Only 1 person.
I like the funnel.
Funnel. Who is that? Who just spoke?
Manfred.
Okay, Manfred, why do you like the funnel?
I like because the attention, the interest, desire, then the action, they're taking action. I think I just like that.
Okay. Who else? The flywheel seems to be more expensive, but I think I'll go with that. Why do you think it's expensive?
Well, hello, good evening. Hello. I think the fly will be more expensive because
We can't hear you any longer. Is it just me? Has she left the call?
It's not just you, we can't hear her.
Okay. Evelyn, we can't hear you.
Hello, can you hear me now? I was having it.
Okay, we can hear you now. We can't hear you any longer. You can probably just type it, okay? But I'd like to hear, please. I'd like to see what you have to say. You can type it. So let me know why you think it's more expensive. Let me know why I think it's more expensive. Can you see my screen, guys?
Yes.
What is it showing?
That's it again. Latam
It again was showing
startup
something about
conference.
startup. Yeah. We can't see it.
Conference. It's not showing again too.
Okay,
Okay,
showing now.
Latam.
Latam Startups Conference.
Okay.
Santiago de Chile.
Can you hear anything?
No.
Now, we're about 2 hours.
Okay,
behind
yes,
and
now.
everything. This
Okay.
is just the greatest time. to
Let's all
present,
listen,
isn't
please.
it?
Let's mute our
Yeah.
mic and listen.
I love it. Following a finance guy and hungry people. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about the 8 essentials to a killer go-to-market strategy. I met with, I think, around 6 startups at the break, and I shared this. I'm not afraid to share this feedback that I gave them. I had no idea what their businesses were after spending 10 minutes with them a lot of the time, because I think a lot of times startups, this is a big challenge to explain what you do. If you can't do it in 10 minutes, then we're in big trouble. So we're going to talk about that today. So ShiftHub was a company that I invested in and I was a co-founder in. And when I got there, my job was to drive revenue. We had $500,000 in the bank, and I did all the things that I thought I was supposed to do. I got a fancy CRM, spent money on AdWords. We went to trade shows.
Can you guys see the AdWords I talked about? I need to know you guys are following me, please. This is important.
Yes, we're following.
Okay, so he said when he first got to Shift Hub that they had to create a go-to-market strategy, and that he thought he was doing things right. So the first thing he did was to get a fancy please just mute the mic, mute your mic. I think everybody's muted now. So the first thing he did was to get a fancy CRM. He spent money on AdWords. They went to trade shows. The AdWords is Google adverts and stuff. So I'm going to continue.
We hired some sales
Let's listen, please.
people. We got a fancy SaaS-looking website. And fast forward 1 year later, we had 0 money in the bank, and we had sales of a whopping $2,000 a month. So needless to say, that was a bit of a challenge. So what went wrong? That's what I'm gonna cover that today, and I'll go over that. I think that, oh, I'm going the wrong way here. There's these 8 essentials of a go-to-market strategy, okay? You've got focus, you've got value proposition. That's where I'm gonna spend my time today. I think that a lot of startups get focus. They try to be too many things to too many people. And that—
You guys remember me saying, don't be too many things to too many people yesterday. You can't be everything to everyone. Yes, I mentioned that. Funny enough, I had not watched this video as of yesterday, but it's just funny that everything is syncing. I just got this video this evening and I was like, okay, I must share it with you guys. So let's keep watching, because you let me know what you learned in this video.
Goes into the value proposition of the message is very confusing because they're trying to message too many people. So when you have things like, we all know that the website is your #1 sales tool. People make a decision within 1 to 3 seconds of landing on your page, whether they're going to bounce, whether they're going to hang out, whether they're going to go to another page. But guess what that goes back to? If you haven't figured out who you're focusing on, and you haven't figured out what your value proposition is, and that it's a value proposition that people can actually understand, it doesn't matter how good of a website and how good it looks. You've got to segment your buyers and your customers. You can't message and talk to every segment the same way. You've got to create personas for your buyers. But again, it doesn't matter if you haven't figured out what your value proposition is. And most importantly, that it's a value proposition that people understand. Advertising, promotion, and events is obviously an essential part of a go-to-market strategy. AdWords might be really important to you. Search retargeting might be the hidden gem. You've got to go to events, all of these things. But again, it's not going to surprise you what I'm going to say here. If you haven't figured out where to focus, what industry to focus in on, who the buyer is, and you don't have a good value proposition, you're going to waste a lot of money, like I did at Shift Hub, of trying to be everything to everybody. Growth hacking is a new terminology, and it's about bringing engineering into marketing. I won't pretend to be an expert on it, but I know that if you can use your product to sell your product, you're going to win. But guess what? If you're not focused on the right industry and you don't have a good value proposition, it's going to be a waste of time and money. Outbound and nurturing, there's still, even though there's all kinds of laws coming into effect in many countries about email and spam, it's still the #1 tool to grow your business. 99% of people aren't going to be ready to buy when you contact them. But when you do find that 1% that's ready to buy, and that email lands in their inbox, or you're nurturing them through a campaign because they were a warm lead, if you don't have the right value proposition and it's confusing, you're going to lose them. And finally, channel partners can be that, I'll call it another hidden gem. A channel partner is somebody who can give you thousands, tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of customers because they like what you're doing and they want to bring your product to their customers. But if you haven't figured out where to focus, it's not going to matter. You're going to be confusing to a channel partner if you don't even know your own value proposition. So what is focus? Focus is choosing an industry or a vertical. So at Shift Hub, we were trying to build a product for retailers, for call centers, for hospitality and restaurants, for manufacturing. So our product team didn't know who their user was. Our marketing team couldn't figure out what message we should create because we had so many different industries and buyer personas. So it's really essential as a startup to get focus nailed. If any of you have read Geoffrey Moore's 1991 book, Crossing the Chasm, this may look familiar to you. And you've got to get focus right. You've got to have it nailed, because in order to cross this chasm, you might be able to go into a bunch of different industries and find some innovators and visionaries. But in order to get the pragmatists and the early majority and the late adapters, it's going to be impossible. You're going to...
Can you hear me?
We can.
When you thought about early majorities and late adapters? Please, I need answers.
Not I'm aware of.
Huh?
I've not been I'm not actually very regular in class. So people who are regular, please, you can speak up. I'll not be the best person to say that.
Okay. Okay, it seems you guys were not taught. Please remind me to tell you about it. Let's continue.
fall into this chasm, and you're just going to fail. You're just going to do okay, mediocre in a number of industries. So I did do a little bit of translating here for you, so I'll let you guys read this. I won't pretend that I can read that. I'll just let you guys read it. I think this quote is especially true for startups. And for those of you who actually can't read it, pharmaceutical, chemical, hospitality, retail, just have all of these different industries that you want to go after. And remember, the other thing that I want to point out is saying SMBs or professional services is not focused. Saying universities in South America that offer an MBA program, that's focus. And then you start scoring them. So does the industry or does the buyer, are they well funded? That could be a really important thing to score against. Does the industry have, is there history of change? Are they innovative? That could be very important. Market size. Again, it doesn't have to be massive, but you want to make sure it's not, there's only 27 possible companies worldwide that can buy the product. What's the competitive landscape? Zero competition, but why go in really well? And if you are going up against your competition, what makes you different? And the final one, I don't have it up. Again, these are just 5 I pulled off the top of my head, but a 6th one I might add is, if we win in this vertical, is there an adjacent vertical that we can immediately leap into with the strength of the current vertical? So I'm the CEO now at Kira Talent, which is a video screening platform. When I arrived, the company was doing exactly what I said not to do earlier. They were going after academic clients. We had SMB self-serve as a SaaS model. I had salespeople calling on retail, hospitality. They were all over the map. And this is exactly what was happening. We were getting innovators and visionaries in the industries to use the product, but we couldn't win in any market. So what we did was we got focused, and we chose academic. And specifically, right now, we're even more laser focused. We're choosing universities and colleges with MBA programs. Now that seems like a pretty narrow focus. How can you build a business off that? There's thousands of business schools worldwide who have fewer seats than they do have applicants. We sell a video screening platform. So they get to see their students and they get to ask potential students tough questions. So we're winning in academic now. So what's the reward that we got for focus? We're able to actually charge a higher average sales price now. When you focus on one industry, you can start charging more. You become the expert there and people want to work with you. Lower customer acquisition costs. Again, if you're focusing on one industry, your customer acquisition cost is going to go down. There's a lower cost to serve, which I think goes to this next one. There's a faster internal adaptation to the customer needs. When we're only dealing with one customer, our product team knows the customer. They're not thinking about 20 different potential buyers when they're building the product. They know it's one person and they can adapt to it. And then there's more predictable service requirements when you're in one vertical and one focus. Because so in our example, we know when a school signs up, they can tell us how many applicants are going to be applying to the school on what date. So it's easy for us to predict service requirements. I like this quote. I didn't translate this one, so hopefully everybody understands it. If you chase 2 rabbits, both will escape. So that's why focus is important. If you start chasing multiple verticals and multiple channels, you're not going to win in any of them. And some of the startups I met with this morning, that's what they were doing. They were saying, our product can do this for this person, and this for this person, and this for this person. And that's not going to work. You're not going to win. Vinegar, this is salt. Vinegar there on your left, probably use it on salads, for cooking. Salt you use for cooking. That's what the product's for, right? But in my house, I use more vinegar to clean. I don't actually do the cleaning, but I've seen it being used by people in my house. So, Heinz vinegar, do they pay attention? They do, because they sell it in the cleaning. It's not just in the food section. Now, I know you don't get a lot, you probably don't see this a lot, although it is a lot colder here than I expected. More salt is used in Canada on the roads to melt the ice. Are you giving me a signal, or are you, okay, okay, all right. Sorry. I'm like 2 minutes. So watch, observe, and learn how your customers are using the product. Stop telling your customers and the consumers what your product's for, and start observing them using it. And you'll see a lot, because here's an example, Lock 8. Has anybody seen this product? Okay. This is a bike lock that you control through an app on your phone, right? So it's attached to your bike at all times. You can unlock and lock your bike through the app. But what they did was they watched and they observed their customers. They're no longer a bike lock company, they're a bike sharing company. Because now what's happening is people are locking their bikes up places and posting that the bike's available now. It's locked in this location. And if you pay X amount of money, you can use the bike. And then it has to be locked back up in this location by this time. And it's all GPS tracked. So here's a company that started as a bike lock company and became a bike sharing platform. So there's a number of different types. So let's talk about the value proposition now. There's what and how value propositions. So Unbounce, build, publish, and A/B test landing pages without IT. Very simple. There wasn't one pitch I heard this morning that they could do it in one sentence like this. You've got to get it down to something like this. So you can either come at it from a what and how value proposition, or Zendesk has a why and who. Relationships between businesses and their customers can be hard. Zendesk makes it easier. Simple, straightforward, gets to the point. There's no words there that you don't understand. Buffer goes even simpler. It's just a what value proposition. Buffer is the easiest way to publish on social media. Close.io.
Do you guys remember when we talked about taglines and product positionings yesterday? We talked about Nike. We said their tagline is just do it. And then we said for product position that it is more detailed, right? That's what he's talking about right here. I hope you guys are following though. It's almost finished. The video is almost finished. Are you following?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Well, but it could be nice if we can still have it so that we can still rewatch it on our own time, please.
Okay. But follow, we're almost done.
Make more sales. They've kind of combined the first two with a what and why value proposition. So at its basic, the value prop is the who part. The customer we service is blank. The situation is, this is the why. The problem we solve is the what. And then finally, we solve this problem by how. I see a lot of you taking pictures. If you go to my blog, which is right here, or at my Twitter, this will be posted tomorrow. So a lack of focus is what kills startups. I see it all the time. They're trying to be too many things to too many people. Their market size is 1 billion and they're just not focused. So I go back to the example of Kira. We're focused on universities and colleges with business degree programs. Very narrow. When we win in that vertical, then we're going to go to the next vertical. Then we're going to go to the next vertical. It's also easier to raise money when you can tell an angel investor or a VC, we know this market inside and out, and we're winning. So there are 8 steps, but I really highly suggest that you focus on those first 2 because you'll waste a lot of money on the next steps if you don't get your focus and your value prop done. Focus on one vertical and create a value proposition just for that channel. And don't assume you know your product. Don't assume you know what your product is going to do. You've got an idea, but don't get fixed on that. Thank you very much. Any questions? Wow. I can repeat it if you want.
Concept that you're talking about, focus, that comes from also Jeffrey Moore.
Okay, so I'm going to share the link with us now. Did you hear when he said, don't assume what your product does? That was why I wrote product testing and MVPs in the chat section. Whenever you create a product, don't assume. Yes, you have created your marketing channels, you have done your buyer persona, you have done everything, you have done the promotion, you have bought their awareness, their interest, and all of that. Now it is time for you to launch the product, right? Don't assume. Did you know that PiggyVest was not, it's like we're currently not using it for what it was meant to be. It was meant to be a savings app, but now a lot of people are using it even as their bank app. They have like normal daily savings that they put in and they withdraw from the app. They transfer money, they do all sort of, normal everyday banking stuff on the app. It even has an investment platform in that same PiggyVest app. We know that, right? Do we use PiggyVest? Does anybody use PiggyVest?
Yeah, I do. I use it.
Exactly. And what it was created for in the initial in the initial plan was just to be a savings platform, but now it is doing more than savings. Now they assumed that they were going to do savings, but when people started using it, people knew that they could do more. Like, that's what you call your product testing. That's why you should create an MVP first. I do not advise people to just go straight into launching. I advise people to do MVPs first. When they do their MVPs, then I think when you guys were applying for this bootcamp, we asked you in your assessment then the meaning of MVP. I'm not sure you can remember, but you guys should remember it was asked. So minimum viable product. So you create this product. It's like a prototype. It's like a testing. You want to use it to see how people will accept it, how people will use it, what they will make out of that your product. And that's what you call your product. That's how you can test your product. And then you can see that most times it's actually what you plan to promote with that product that is actually being used for. But sometimes it changes. People would be able to decide that this is what I can make out of this product that you're telling me to use. This is what I want to use it for. Then you can now change your course to what people are using, because at the end of the day, they are your users. They're the ones that will use that product. So you have to change your course to that. So this is where we're going to end the class for today. I have sent the link to you. I'll still send it to your class, and I hope that you enjoyed today's class. Do we have any questions? I expect questions. But today's class was kind of intense. I expect questions. Do we have questions? Even if it's from the video you watched, I don't mind.
Can I ask a question?
Definitely.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Can I ask? From the video, you mentioned having a focus and having one vertical
Mm-hmm.
on that page. One vertical. I want to really
Okay, you want me
understand
to explain that? Do you want me to explain that?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Do you want me to explain what he
Exactly,
meant by
yes.
having one
Thank
vertical?
you. Thank you.
Okay. So what it means is that he's still trying to buttress his point that you can't be everything to everyone. Okay. First of all, you want to narrow your channel. As a product, let's say you are doing you're trying to build this product for, let's say you're trying to build this product. Okay, let me use PHA as an example now. When we first started PHA is a community, right? A tech community. So PHA was just for people in products. We narrowed down to tech is very, very vast and wide, but we narrowed it down to a very vertical and slim channel, which is just product. So every bootcamp we had was product focused. Every training we had was product focused, just product management, product design, product marketing, and product development. That's all. But when we now saw that we have won, like we have achieved what we wanted to achieve, we've gotten enough people that we need for products, then we're now able to spread our verticals, like have more verticals. Now we have 3 extra verticals, which is technical writing, developer relations, and cybersecurity. Those ones now would be able to work on it. There are 3 other verticals. We have to like focus on it, make sure that we achieve what we want to achieve or win in that aspect before we can now expand our channels. Do you understand? So he's still talking about focus, narrowing down. Now for him, the Skills Hub, the app that they created was for bachelor's students in universities or something like that. I've forgotten how he said it, but we chat for students in universities that are trying to achieve bachelor degree or something like that. So they narrowed it down to that. So they said after they've won in that category, then they can now expand their verticals or their channels. That's what I was trying to say. Have I answered your question? Have I answered your question, Manfred?
Yes, I think you answered the question.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any
Because
other?
I wanted to still ask the same question too, because
Oh,
we have banks that have different products. Does it mean that they don't have a focus? But you answered it that as they develop on focused on one and they saw that they've gained grounds on it, they decided
yeah.
to shift more, expand, and cover more ground. So that was the question I wanted to ask. But so you've answered. Thank you.
Okay, exactly. So as they grow, they also expand their verticals or their channels. That's just it. So, but it's advisable if you are launching, start with a very, very narrow channel, like a slim niche, a very small community or a very small market. Market is the right word, rather. A very small market. That means people that will be using your products at the market now. So make sure to start with very small people. So let's say you want to do for people that are trying to lose. Let me look for something very narrow. Let's say you want to do a weight loss app, but it is not for everybody. Let's say people that are trying to lose pregnancy weight. They just gave birth and they want to lose pregnancy weight. Then you're going to gather a lot of people that just gave birth and they want to lose pregnancy weight. Now, as time goes on, after you've gained ground, you can now extend to people that just had a surgery and they have fat excess in that surgery, but they want to lose that weight. Then later you can now go on to maybe general body fat loss, all those kind of things. So you gain ground in one niche to another niche to another vertical channel to another vertical channel, just like that till you expand. That's just it. So do we have any other questions?
Yes, I would like to draw your attention back to something that you highlighted during the video, early
Okay.
majorities and late adapters. I don't know if you'd like to respond to that now or later on.
Okay. Thank you for reminding me. I totally forgot. So early majorities and late adapters means early majorities are people that use your products at the early stage of your products. Let me even search for it. So people that use your product at the early stage of your product, while late adapters are people that will wait. They'll wait. In fact, everybody would have used that product, downloaded it, done everything, enjoyed it before they will now be convinced that, okay, it's like this product works. Let me use it. Let me show you guys the verses. So just so you know, they're not the only ones. So we have the early adapters, we have the innovators, then the early adapters, then the early majority, the late majority, and the laggards. So I'm coming on. Let me share with you guys the I want to share it to your I've sent it. Let me also share it to your class. Can you see it? Can you see it? Please,
Yes, I can see it.
okay, thank you. So I want to share my screen so you can see the difference between the now for the early adopters, their research centers, mass media technology, this is where they get their information sources from. The early people, maybe they make researches like how can I order a ride? Let's say they just go to Google and they research, how can I order a ride from my house? Then Google will bring out Bolt, Uber, blah, 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 all the available options and maybe blogs, websites, everything about that. That's when they now see it. Mass media, maybe they can see it on their social media accounts or through advertisements or anything. Then technical journals, maybe on tech newspapers or stuff like that. Those are the early adapters. And late adapters, maybe they'll hear from their friends, or maybe they don't really use social media, or maybe they just read from general journals if there's any. Then early adopters, contact with others. They have high participation in special interest groups. They are very active in those groups. They have many close associates, but get information only from the knowledgeable ones. The late adopters, they have low participation in special interest groups. Mostly they say they are introverts. They have few personal contacts. They are limited to locality. They get their advice from friends and relatives. And that's why they will know about these things. Maybe it's their friend that will say, you've been stressing yourself all this while. Why don't you use Bolt? And they're like, hey, what is Bolt? The friend will even have to tell them like 5 times before they can actually download that, or until the friend say, oh yeah, give me your phone. Let me download this thing for you before they'll finally have that app. So their personal characteristics, they search for new ideas and practices. They can relate abstract ideas to one situation. They have high maintenance ability, adoption mostly on economical, rational processes. They are big operators. They are prosperous. They have more schooling. That's for the early adapters. But for the late adapters, they are reluctant to risk or trying new things. You can see what I just mentioned. Then they need concrete examples. They need to see that this thing is actually working. They need to see proof before they can download it. Then they have low management abilities. They adoption mostly due to influence of friends and neighbors. They cannot just use it on their own. They need to be influenced, to be properly influenced before they can use it. Then they are small operators. Then they have little schooling. So that's mainly the difference between early adapters and late adapters. I hope you understand now. So this is another place you can find their innovators. They are the first customers. They have various expectations than those who later buy it. Your early adapters, we just talked about them. The early majority, they are more conservative in their purchasing, but they are open to new ideas. But they will still look at it. Do I really need it? Me personally, I'm more of an early majority person. I'm not an early adopter. An early adopter will jump on it, no matter the kind of product. They would have downloaded it before they now realize that, oh, they don't need it, then they will delete it. But an early majority, they will first think, they are conservative. Do I really need it? They will think about it like 3 times. Do I really need to use it? Do I really need to use it before they now download it or actually purchase that thing? Late majority, these ones, after everything has ended, that's when they will, like I just said. Then the laggards, sometimes they don't even use it. They don't even use this app. They're averse to change. And they usually have very, very tight budgets. So they will only accept innovations when they are forced to. And even then, they will hate you for being alive. So the laggards make up to about 16% of your total potential customers. So this is the chasm. You have the innovators, early adapters. So your chasm is always in the middle of early adapters and early majorities. That's where you have your people most times. That's the good ones, or the ones that will be majority of your users or of your buyer personas. That's where you have in the middle of early adapters and early majorities. You don't want people in late majority and laggards. You don't want them. Oh, you're an early majority too, you see? You see? So people are early adopters. They download anything and they use anything, they buy anything. That remaining, do you know how many people bought it? They purchased that app and they didn't even need it. So let me share this with you guys too, so that you can read more on it. That AI app, then I was just saying everybody had it. And some didn't need it, but they just kept purchasing it. They're the early adopters. But not like me. I would think and think, what exactly do I need it for? Why do I need an AI to change my face and make me look like cartoon? I don't need the Jare. That's what I'm going to tell myself. So I'm sending all the resources. I think I've sent every resource that we used today to your class. So please get to use them. I'm actually tired though. I think we need to end this class now. I'm quite tired and I'm sure some of you are too. So I don't know if we'll be meeting tomorrow, because tomorrow work continues. All of us will have to go back to our work. And apart from work too, I'll also be working on our STEM school projects that I told you guys that we're currently doing in Nasarawa. So tomorrow is going to be very tight for me. And I do not know if we'll be having class, but I'll communicate to you guys early enough if we will not be having classes. Okay, you guys used to have it on Tuesday and Thursdays. I don't know, what do you guys want? Tuesday to Thursdays or Friday to Sundays?
Fridays
Anyway,
to Sundays.
I'll
Friday.
prefer Fridays to Sundays.
Okay,
Fridays to Sundays is fine.
Okay, Fridays to Sundays. Sorry, Damola. So we'll stick to Fridays to Sundays. Okay, then. So that means I don't know if I still want to teach you guys something. So maybe I should just compile it into this slide, then leave it to you guys to go learn it. Maybe that would be good. Or if you want me to come and explain it to you, you can just put it in the chat and I'll tell you whenever I'm available and we can do that. I think that's fine. But for now, I'm having slide edit, so I think we'll close now. Thank you all for joining today's class.
Please, I just have a question. You don't have to respond to it today, like, so I don't lose the thought.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about you mentioned a product tear down.
Yes.
Should I call it an event or session that used to happen? I think for Ross and me, especially that is new in this field, that will really be helpful, because I wanted to ask about this new product that trended for a while, but all of a sudden it's just lost its steam. This
What's the
trend,
name
what
of
you
the
thought of trend?
That's the name of the product?
Yes. I think that was supposed to compete with Twitter or something. Without Trend or X or something like that.
Oh, Threads.
Yeah.
Instagram, that Instagram stuff. That
Yes.
mature.
Yeah, Threads.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
I just wanted to ask what we thought about the products, the reasons why it lost him like that and all of that. But since we are all exhausted right now, we can leave that to the next class. So I don't
Yeah.
lose the thought. I wanted to mention it out now.
Okay, I'll take that to your community manager, Aisha. So maybe we will go back to our product tear down session that happens every Wednesday. I don't know if you guys will be available. It's just availability. People were saying, oh, I'm late at work, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end of the day, we'll see just 6 people, just 5 people, you know. So, and it's not A product teardown cannot happen with that amount of people. We need people to brainstorm. We need people to share ideas. We need people to tear it down and build it back up. That's the point. So, but maybe we'll drop a poll. I think that's the wisest thing to do right now. We'll drop a poll, and then the day that gets peaks, the majority peaks, is the day we'll set aside for product teardown, so we can continue it. I think the last Harvest. Do you guys know Harvest? Let me type it. Harvest. It's a very funny product. You can check it out, Sha. You can check it out. It's something about farming for women and something. So let me even see. Let me share my screen with you guys. Let me even end the recording now because it's getting too long. Let me end the recording, but let me still share my screen with you guys.